Yes, people, and welcome back to another video on the Bridge YouTube channel where we bring you all things Chelsea. I'm your host with the most, the Bridge 258, here to discuss a major topic today in regards to the Chelsea transfer incomings. Here we go. So, as you guys know, it's been rumoured that Chelsea are now planning to bring in 2 to 3 attackers into the squad. Now, the main target they're looking for right now, as of right now, in the first, which is their primary target, is a player that can play the 10 role and can have as a secondary position a right wing role. So so obviously there's some stipulations with that too, such as the fact that the club are not going for Cherki, mainly because of his attitude issues that they believe he has, and some other stuff behind the scenes. From what we know in regards to Cherki, when it comes to Kudus, the club are probably not in for him, even though they haven't probably agreed personal terms for the player. He's probably going to be worth around about 51.5 million euros too. So it's another one to consider too, and the fact that also like West Ham has also and the talks between West Ham and Ajax have broken down. It's kind of surprising that they've not been able to do so too. Now the final player as well is João Felix. We know why he's not coming. He's going to be too expensive to a person who has to get. Secondly, Pochettino does not want him to be a part of the squad. He doesn't believe he works in there at all. So at the end of the day, man, I know there's a lot of people that would like João Felix, but sadly he's not coming to the football club. Time to move on, lads. Simple as that, really. Now, with all of those stipulations in mind, I've come up with what I believe to be 4 players, in my opinion, that the club could probably go after, to bring into the squad, who can play the cam role, and some can somewhat play the right wing well, but they can play the RCAM role, in my opinion, and that would similarly work, in my opinion, to the right wing role at the end of the day. But there's some 4 players I've got there. There's another wild card option I've got that maybe they could go after, but I'm pretty sure that the club wouldn't. I'm pretty sure many people would not want this guy. So I've got a wild card option there too. So I'll put him to the side there. So you know what, man? Enough dilly dallying. Let's get into the actual topic in mind. So the first player we're going to be looking at is quite a young player, but the most expensive option, in my opinion, out of this list, and that is Florian Wirtz of Bayern Leverkusen. He has scored 1 goal and assisted 6 times in the league this season. He's 20 years old, but to bear in mind of those stats, the reason why he had such low stats that season, in my opinion, was because he just came back from an ACL injury. He only started playing again in January. He actually replaced Callum Hudson-Odoi, unironically. So he was playing that top player, very good player anyway. Creates really well, very very good creators. Got a lot of good full final balls that he can produce too. What we're lacking in that creativity market, he can really bring to the football club as well. So shout outs to him. So I think he's one of those players that you definitely want to be looking at. Talented, German, young 20-year-old. The thing for me with him is gonna be, he's probably going to cost around about 120, 130 million pounds. Now, the club has already spent in and around the region of 150 million pounds on Caicedo, 60 million on, almost 60 million, 58 million to be exact, on Romeo Lavia. So, you know what I'm saying? You've got a lot to consider there, in my opinion, at the end of the day. So, again, we will see on that one still. So, that's the first option. The second option we're going to be looking at is probably my second most expensive option, and that would be Morgan Gibbs-White. 20 years old, has scored 5 goals and assisted 8 times in the league this season. Was one of the main reasons as to why Nottingham Forest stayed up, alongside the fact that Awoniyi went on a crazy go wrong, scoring 10 goals in 5 games, in the last 5 games of the season to be exact. So there's that too. He was the main creator for Nottingham Forest, helping out Brennan Johnson, who was acting as inside forward, I should say. Awoniyi, who is the striker, but although Awoniyi was in and out of the team, I think he was suffering from some form of a minor injury. So there's that to consider as well. So I think I forgot who the other winger was, but now they've got what's it called, Anthony Elanga from Man United. So clearly what they're trying to do is that he's the cam. These 2 guys, Brennan Johnson and Elanga, come in, cut inside essentially, act as inside forwards, and you've got a one you can hold the ball, him, a one bang to the winger, goal. That's the way they're acting out. So it's almost like a 3-pass structure at the end of the day. So with him, again, it just comes down to some of the following things, which is that it's going to be very expensive. It's obviously got the so-called Premier League tax, the English tax. Also, the fact that he just won the under-21 or under-23 tournament, which was the Euros, alongside Madueke and Cole. So it's going to cost you quite a lot of money. Probably, in my opinion, 80 to 90 million range. And the fact that Nottingham Forest brought him for 45 million, they probably want to at least double his money. So that would probably be, again, 90 million pounds at the very least. That's going to cost you for Morgan Gibbs-White. Now, the next player we're going to be looking at, who's on our list, is Eberici Eze. 24 years old, plays for 25 years old, I should say, plays for Crystal Palace, scored 10 goals in the league this season and assisted 4 times. I'm pretty sure all of us here know what a breach as a skill set is. Top player, can play very well in the cam role, very good positioning, very good shooter too. Pretty much seeing that from the 10 goals that he scored. You know, he's got a final ball on him alongside Elise. Him and Elise are basically the main creators for that team too. So, you know, shout out to my boy Elise, man. And sorry, Eze, I should say. Top player, he can do those final balls, can even play on the left wing if need to be. Considering obviously the fact we've been forced to play Chilwell there, and it seems that Mudryk is not really working out right now at this moment in time on that role. We can even have him there if need be. So, you know, again, that just shows the versatility of Eberici Eze. With him, again, he's probably going to cost you quite a few quid. 60 million for me, 70 million pounds. The range you're probably going to have to get someone like a Eberici Eze, in my opinion. You can probably do, but considering the fact of the Crystal Palace and Chelsea going to court issue, has the relationship broken down to a point of no return? I don't know, but we will probably discuss that going forward too. And the final player we're going to be discussing is from Villarreal, and his name is Yeremy Pino. 20 years old, scored 4 goals and assisted 5 times in the league this season. Was playing alongside our fellow striker as of currently, Nicholas Jackson, in attack. Can play the camera, can play on the wings too. Very, very good player, top player. He actually was, if I'm not mistaken, a part of the squad, the squad that beat Man United in the Europa League final when they had Oli in the squad. So, you know, he's got some Europa League experience, definitely coming off the bench for Emery. So again, there's a lot of stuff there that to be valued, to be understood when it comes to someone like an Ebery, when it comes to someone like a Yeremy Pino. So again, he's another good quality option as well to think about too. So the question for me is now, we're looking at this, and I've told you before, Yeremy Pino will probably cost you £40 million, 40 to £50 million will be the range. But you know, that's probably what I think the price ranges are for all these players. Now going forward, we need to discuss, you know, if you're let's put ourselves into Paul Stanley and Lawrence Street's mindset alongside the scouts. You know, what are you going for right now? Now for me, the ideal option would probably be Florian Wirtz. Let's not get that twisted. Or an Eberici Eze. But the reality of the situation is, when it comes to Florian Wirtz, 110, 120, 130 million pounds. The club already spent 150 million on Moises Caicedo. I don't think the club are willing to go to that again. So as such, for me, Florian Wirtz is off the table right now. Eberici Eze, when it comes to him, another top talent that I would have liked at the football club. But again, for me, with him, the Crystal Palace situation has made it that I feel like right as of currently, there's a point of no return in this window. So you can't really deal with Crystal Palace at this moment in time. So you got to move on. So that leaves you down to Yeremy Pino and Morgan Gibbs White. For me, Morgan Gibbs White, for the price range and probably the quality that he's at right now, is too much. He's probably going to cost you again 80 to 90 million pounds, and I don't think the club are going to go after someone like Morgan Gibbs White for that price range too. So that he goes out the window. Now for me, apparently the club have well liked Yeremy Pino since January. So for me, if that's the case, Yeremy Pino is probably going to be the option if I'm the football club that you're going to go for. Probably going to cost you around about £40 million in my opinion. Top talent. The worry for me again when it comes to Florian Wirtz is that Spanish to English, going from the La Liga to the Premier League, sometimes it's very hard, particularly for Spanish players when they come from a Liga, to sort of, come to the Premier League and do what they need to do. So again, with him, he's probably going to need a little bit of time for him to, take his time. Obviously, with Jackson, it seems that he's been going quite well. Just the finishing is just what we need, obviously, because he's a striker. But I'm not sure with Pino. That's the thing that's going to have to worry you at this moment in time. So again, we'll see what happens there, in my opinion. But I think probably the club are going to go for Yeremy Pino. Now, I told you guys I had a little wild card shout, and that is Danny Olmo. And he can probably play that camera, play the camera as well. Now the thing for me is, I don't know from with the way he plays and everything, if he's gonna fit if he's gonna fit the team. And for me, he's not that great anyway. He's one of the ones that I have lower rated in terms of skill and ability wise when it comes to Danny Olmo. So not him. So I think probably what's gonna happen is, and if the club is smart, you bring in. I would still think the fact that club are trying to find out about the Barcola deal, tends to me to think that Barcola is probably one of the club's secondary number 2 option. So you bring in a Yeremy Pino plus a Bradley Barcola. You can play on either side of the wing. So then you have options on the right wing and the left wing, and then you can have our boy Yeremy Pino be the main option in the 10 role. So I think that's pretty much the idea that you're looking for right there. So that's the video on this section, guys. Now there's some quick transfer news that I'm just going to talk about quickly, and that is that There's the scan going on currently for our boy Chukwemeka. As you know, he got off injured with his knee due to an impact injury. Couldn't really walk that well, and the sad reality is that apparently there's a fear that it's an MCL injury, similarly to what Nkuku had. So he could be out for 3 to 4 months. It's really sad because this brother scored a goal and now now he's out. It's not easy, man. It's not easy, man. 110% for him. Hopefully he gets back stronger and better. That's all I can say for that. And in regards to the goalkeeping situation, apparently, according to Nizar Casella, we're closing in now on finishing the deal for the GK Petrovic too. So that's pretty much all the main transfer news as of right now, 8:03 p.m. And that's the video. Please make sure again to like, share, subscribe, as always. And I'll catch you tomorrow for the latest transfer roundup. And if there's any other big news, you will see me live as always right here, right now on the Bridge YouTube channel. And make sure to stay blue.